Graph shows I was not speeding.
Tonight, the secret radar formula exposed.
60,000 images a month.
How to beat those police mobile speed cameras.
Mine stretches, yeah.
Plus, Bert Newton breaks his silence on his relationship with the King, Graham Kennedy.
It became a cesspool at one stage.
Also, the grandmother getting rich with her cruel magic trick, and council rate madness forcing a family out of their home. Hello, I'm Karl Stefanovic. Welcome to A Current Affair in the chair while Tracy's on assignment. Also tonight, keep it clean. Jeannie Little's new home cleaning guide. But first, the accuracy of speed cameras. Drivers around Australia continue to uncover legal loopholes and technical problems with equipment that leave a giant question mark over the future of police radar traps. And now the owner of a four-wheel drive has been accused of accelerating through a speed camera at 15 times the speed of sound.
Houston, we have a problem.
60,000 images a month are sent out as fines. Now, who checks them? Who verifies that these are correct?
It just simply wasn't a rocket.
You weren't speeding?
No.
It was an incorrect image. I should never have been sent to court.
It's the principle of the thing. And to go to the police and say, please forgive me for this, I've been a bad boy, is outrageous when I haven't been a bad boy.
It's absurd to see a space shuttle on the city streets, but this is an absurd accusation. So absurd, even the Victorian Magistrates Court threw it out.
At the top of the hill, there's no way my old Nissan could have accelerated to 59 kilometres an hour halfway down the hill.
Klaus Salga is a self-confessed techno-boffin, the type you don't want to argue with when it comes to complicated mathematics.
I mean, you should not have been prosecuted.
So when the 63-year-old was caught allegedly speeding, he crunched the numbers and successfully fought the fine.
It wasn't speeding when it entered the beam, but a quarter of a second later, all of a sudden, it was speeding.
For Klaus, it all came down to the radar's beams and the point at which his car was photographed. He worked out his acceleration between 2 points would have had to have reached 15,000 kilometres an hour.
Now, it can't do that. Now, it would show an acceleration that is well beyond any motor vehicle on the Australian market. Even a Ferrari couldn't accelerate at that rate.
In fact, that's even faster than a space shuttle, and the accused Leadfoot certainly wasn't driving one of those down this suburban street when he was pinged.
It was a 1984 Nissan Patrol running on gas and 520,000 kilometres. It really wasn't a rocket.
Not surprisingly, the magistrate accepted Klaus's mathematics.
I had a look at the photograph and immediately noticed that there was something wrong. I was in the wrong position.
John King also challenged the radar beam and won, using Klaus as his expert witness.
In my case, I was in the wrong position, and therefore, according to the traffic camera operator's own book, I was not guilty.
Of course, these speeding fines aren't the only laughable ones we've seen.
I have an enormous amount of evidence to prove that I'm innocent, and I intend to use it to the full extent.
As soon as A Current Affair started asking questions, Bill Ronald had his fine cancelled. Police even conceded he should never have got it in the first place.
I wasn't anywhere near this location on that day, nor was it my motorcycle that was involved.
Police also revoked Brett Pounceby's fine after he used his GPS device to prove he wasn't speeding.
I'm glad I had the GPS in the car at the time, yes, definitely.
Now this victorious pair wants to help other drivers.
If people have been unfairly treated, they should fight it.
Study the photograph because it could be wrong.
Good advice there, Ms. Zoe Ford, with that report. And if you've had an issue with a speeding fine, send us an email or you can just give us a call. Well, they were one of the most successful comedy teams in the history of Australian television. The man known as the King, Graham Kennedy, and TV legend Bert Newton. The King and Bert worked together on the hugely popular In Melbourne Tonight show, and eventually they became lifelong friends. Now, for the first time, Bert Newton talks to Tracy Grimshaw about the rumours and his real relationship with Graham Kennedy.
Pick all my dinner up. Pick up my dinner.
You don't pick that up, Bert. You won't be in the next series.
Bert, good to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy.
Do you think that you might watch the movie when it goes to air on 9?
Chances are I will, because I wouldn't like anyone to think that I've got some sort of vendetta against this movie.
Taxi's back from whence they came, would you, Batman?
I know that Graham would not have wanted a movie to be made about his life.
Graham, you promised no personal stuff.
Sorry, but
The intensely private king of Australian television had made his feelings perfectly clear. He didn't want his story told. His crown prince knew him better than anyone and had plenty to tell, but nothing would ruin a bond that had endured half a century.
I never had sex with my wife before we were married. Did you? I don't know. What was her maiden name?
He simply said, if you do it, Bert, that's fine, and won't affect our friendship or our relationship. If you don't do it, I'd really appreciate it, because I don't want anything written. I don't want any movies. At this time, I didn't quite understand, but Graham knew that the end was pretty close.
Why won't you that, Bert? Bert was true to his word, determined to keep the faith with the friend who taught him so much. Now he breaks his silence.
He was probably one of the most nervous performers I've ever worked with. Everyone gets nervous, but Graham would get to the point of almost not wanting to go on, and at the height of his career.
That'd have to mess with your head, that sort of stress, I think.
A lot of people say that he was, a recluse, and that he didn't like company, and he was a total loner. That's not true. He was very selective of the people that he would be with, and he felt there were two Graham Kennedys. The Graham Kennedy that was a star, my word, not necessarily his, and the Graham Kennedy that wanted to live a private life and enjoy himself.
I got the sense from talking to some people that he pushed people away towards the end. Did you ever feel that with him?
Oh, he knew how to push people away. It didn't matter who they were. If he didn't necessarily want to be in their company, they'd find out pretty quickly.
Was he shy?
No, he was a private person. I don't think he was shy.
This movie paints him quite dark. Was there a prominently dark side to him?
Well, I guess everyone's got a dark side. I'm trying to think of what his dark side would be. I suppose it might be that... I really can't come up with one.
Sort of sad and tortured would be the impression I get from him from watching the movie.
No, I've never seen him tortured. I've certainly
not physically.
So I'll just say...
Bert now says it was the rumour-mongering following Graham's death that further convinced him to play his cards close to his chest.
It became a cesspool at one stage, which I thought was disgraceful. The manner in which he died, and the reason that his ailments alleged and so forth, all proven wrong. I think I got more hot under the collar than Graham would have done, because I think Graham would have had a laugh about it.
We've had 56 inquiries from people who want to bath me. And 3 of them were from girls.
It seems that since he died, there's been this mad rush to out him sexually.
Yes, I don't know why, and in the 21st century, that's all that important. I would think that from a sexuality point of view, when he began in television, that would be a problem, because it was a different world then. I mean, back then, if someone didn't marry, well, they must be,
Did he feel that? Did you talk to him about it ever?
Oh, yeah, we talked about it, but I think it was only in the manner of what's it going to do to my career.
Was he obsessively secretive about it?
No, I don't. No. Well, not to me, anyway. It wasn't something we discussed a hell of a lot. I just get up in the morning and make breakfast for him. Usual thing,
See, I've always wondered about that.
Yes, not to worry.
Clearly you were very close friends.
Yes. No, we were extremely close friends who understood each other. The sexuality thing, he understood mine, I understood him, but we were in different paddocks. Actually, he was the first to go out with Patty. He took Patty out before I took her out, so he always considered himself to be the husband-in-law. That's what he used to call himself.
Patty McGrath.
Do you feel protective of his memory now?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Obviously, there was interest in his sexuality. There was interest in the fact that, was he almost a modern-day hermit, which he wasn't. But I think that he deserves to be remembered because he was in a field in which there was only one starter, and that was him.
Do you think if you two young blokes were coming into television now, in the current era, that what you did could still be done?
Some people complain that I'm still doing it. In Graham's case, if he was working today with the ability that he had, yes, he could do it, but he'd give it a 2007 look. I think that there was no grey area. Either you loved him or you didn't love him.
Fascinating interview. Tracy Grimshaw with Bert Newton and The King, starring Stephen Curry as Graham Kennedy, airs on the 9 Network tonight at 8:30. Well worth a look. Well, we first exposed so-called psychic healer Chris Cole on a current affair almost a decade ago. Back then, Cole was claiming she could heal the sick, all for a price. Today, the suburban grandmother is still getting rich at the expense of others, this time by using a cruel magic trick.
My father was recently diagnosed with advanced liver cancer.
It starts with an email.
He has decided against any treatment. He was introduced to psychic surgeon Chris Cole. My dad visited this woman.
A bizarre and chilling account.
She claims to be removing bad tissue from his abdomen whilst penetrating below the skin with only her hands.
So I'm going for an appointment as a liver cancer victim. Now I've discovered psychic surgeon Chris Cole is many other things as well. She's the Reverend Chris Cole, head of her self-styled religion, the Orthodox Catholic Church of Australia. She has degrees in law and social science, and she's a PhD student at a Sydney university. She's also a grandmother of 8. But none of this prepares me for her treatment. Chris seems uninterested in my liver cancer, asks no questions about it, but starts to work immediately with both hands on, or is that in, my navel. Within a few seconds, red stuff is coming from my stomach as her hands squirrel down deep. I panic.
For heaven's sake, can I lose?
Don't worry, she says, it's not my blood, just a manifestation. She mops it away with a towel. I'm in absolutely no pain.
And as she was doing it, I observed there was a piece of meat at the navel.
8 years ago, we exposed Chris Cole as a shonk, operating without a licence and raking in thousands of dollars a week from desperately sick people.
This is a setup. This is a
I'm sorry,
setup.
why are you so upset? We've had some blood analyse. I'm sorry, but that's harassment.
We thought we'd managed to shut down Chris Cole, but we were wrong. Now home-based, she's still ripping off the sick with her brand of false hope and sleight of hand. Back then, the price was $100 for an 8-minute session. Today, it's $145, cash only, and I had 3 sessions in the same morning. But the price isn't all that's changed. The law. What Chris Cole is doing and charging is now under the control of health authorities. Any violations of conduct can bring 12 months jail.
Is it quackery?
Oh, yes, it's quackery of the first water.
Dr. Richard Gordon, GP and skeptic.
People with a serious illness, particularly cancer, are tremendously vulnerable to the suggestion that they do something else. And they've heard that there's a person who's cured cancer, or they've heard of some treatment or other that might be worth doing that's either in Australia or overseas, and it becomes a very powerful suggestion.
Going to the Philippines. The Philippines? What's in the Philippines? America.
This type of fake surgery started in the Philippines town of Baguio, where Chris Cole studied her art. It's been sucking desperate cancer sufferers in for years. In the true life movie Man on the Moon, Jim Carrey goes for a cure, sees the con, and dies laughing.
So do you know what she's doing?
Absolutely.
You're quite certain?
100%.
You've seen this before then?
Yes, many times.
Sean Taylor is master of this deception. He's Australia's highest qualified magician.
So she's got a little device and some very simple but crude magician techniques.
So her left hand is hiding a secret?
Absolutely, yeah. It's guilt.
You were actually lying down on
He analysed our video of Chris Cole.
Now, you'll remember from the video where she came in the door, and at that point, she was, in fact, all ready to go, which is why she looked very awkward as she was walking in. And she had her hand very obviously held down behind her, left hand with the towel. And at this point now, I'm able to use the towel to, again, mask my hands and mask all of the secret stuff that's going on here that allows the manifestation to appear on his tummy.
But there's nothing in your hands, is there?
Well, it doesn't appear as such, but in fact there is. Let me show you. There's a little cylinder right here, a little plastic cylinder.
Where did that come from?
And this cylinder is being held in my hand in a very simple magician technique to get the manifestation onto the tummy.
And she's charging how much?
145 for an average 8-minute session. You do 3 sessions on a visit.
Jesus, I charge $52 for 15 minutes. If you have someone who seems very knowledgeable, has a range of degrees on their wall, gets you undressed, touches you, I mean, people feel better when they're touched, then for a short period of time, the person will feel better.
Chris Cole charged me $435 for her 18 minutes of magical mumbo-jumbo. She was quick to close the door on our transaction, and she doesn't give receipts. But I didn't walk away empty-handed. I'd managed to wipe a trace of that manifestation on my trousers.
There's a possibility that it is blood. It may be animal blood.
Senior forensic scientist at a major testing laboratory, Karl Field.
We were not able to detect human blood.
So what is this fluid, if not human? In 1999, we were able to show Chris Cole was using pig's blood on her patients.
The delay in diagnosis or the delay in proper treatment that can result from her administrations can certainly lead to a worsening or even worsening of someone's cancer or perhaps their earlier death.
Hi, Chris. Howard Gibbs from A Current Affair. How are you?
Not again.
What you're doing is shameful.
No.
You are deceiving sick people.
You
are offering false hope.
You don't know anything about my work.
What do you use, a little thumb, is it? Is that what you do with your
Are
left
you
hand?
joking?
Is that it?
You're joking. You came into my house and pretended to be something that you're not.
You're really
you're
just
a scammer. And
using
Current Affair
simple magic tricks.
No.
And that is a very morally wrong thing to do. Where's the blood come from?
I'm not going to answer your questions.
No, you are verging on the evil.
You never talk to any of my patients.
Some pictures don't lie.
You're not my patient.
And I'm afraid you have been caught.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, isn't it? Howard Gibbs with that report, and the Healthcare Complaints Commission and Department of Fair Trading have requested copies of our tapes and are now investigating Chris Cole. We'll let you know the outcome. Well, still to come on A Current Affair, Jeannie the cleaning lady, Jeannie Little's new cleaning guide. That story coming up. Now to the family being forced out of their home because of a council rate bill. The Hayes have been hit with a rate notice totalling more than $70,000. They're among 7 homeowners slugged by Gold Coast City Council after mudslides struck the area back in 2005. But residents are refusing to give up without a fight.
If we were forced to pay the bill, we'd have to sell up.
What went through your mind when you saw this rate bill?
Well, shock horror.
Far better to be in this situation with those walls built than still arguing about it.
2 years ago, a devastating landslide crumbled houses and dreams for the residents of Currumbin Hill. And while the clean-up is long over, there's been more shattering news.
Will you pay this bill?
I suppose it's like any bill you have and you've got to try and find a way to pay it.
But this is no ordinary bill. Steve and Michelle Hay have been hit with a massive $72,000 rates notice.
and the only way out is to sell.
You must have gone through a lot of frustrating times and, been pretty angry.
This whole issue has been frustrating. You just want it to go away now.
A little further down the road, and pensioner Roger Bell is even worse off. His rates bill for this retaining wall astonishing.
In my particular case, $192,000 is just not on. They can sell me up. They'll have to sell me up because I haven't got $192,000 to pay them in the first place.
Roger and his wife Norma were among the hardest hit. The couple, along with 2 other property owners, are launching a class action against Gold Coast City Council.
How hopeful are you of winning this class action?
I believe justice will prevail, and yes, we will win.
In all, 7 properties have received one of these huge rates bills. Altogether, it adds up to $1.2 million, a cost many are refusing to pay because they're facing financial ruin. At the time of the disaster, experts claimed the landslide was the result of heavy rain, water seepage, and the fact most of the properties were built on fill. Today, Councillor Chris Robbins denies any responsibility.
At this point in time, the council lawyers are telling me that there is no liability for council.
What people should do with insurance is look at their own environment and make sure they're insured for those things that are obvious around them.
As Sunshine Coast residents mop up after a weekend of flooding, Noosa Mayor Bob Abbott says when it comes to natural disasters, ratepayers shouldn't have to foot the bill.
It just sounds to me a fairly ominous bill for those ratepayers to pay.
How hard are you prepared to fight the council?
Whilst I've got a breath in my body, I shall be fighting for the rights of the 600 houses on this hill.
There's infrastructure that should have been done originally and it was never done, and we're just the poor suckers that have to pay it.
Massive bills, aren't they? Kate Donaldson reporting, and a resident task force will meet with the Gold Coast City Council representatives next month to discuss that rate issue. After the break, Jeannie Little's simple guide to keeping it clean around the home.
I have to say I do love cleaning, I really do.
Tonight, 7:30. A spectacular series final. An amazing insight to life behind the scenes of the royal family like never before. Windsor, the Queen's Castle with Brian Henderson. Tonight, 7:30.
Channel 9.
I know it's early, everyone, but let's get started.
Hi. You don't mind if we eat lunch? We've been flat out all day.
Oh, please.
You'd better get going. You're on the 6 o'clock flight.
Great. At least I'll get dinner.
Lewis, can bring my new Passat round for us, please?
Don't worry, Lewis. It's only his new pride and joy.
Volkswagen Passat, full of unexpected pleasures.
White House Furniture has been supplying Adelaide with quality furniture for over 20 years. White House Furniture has a rich selection of styles in bedding, dining, modern entertainment units and much, much more. White House Furniture, Adelaide's largest timber furniture specialist at Norwood and Morford Vale.
You may know Australian Central helps people with their day-to-day finances, including easy access to their money at branches or through phone and online banking. What you may not know is that we provide thousands of South Australians with a range of home and personal loans. Well, that across Australia, we're helping people create the future they want for themselves with savings, investments and financial planning. But rather than talking about ourselves, we prefer to listen to you, because at Australian Central, you're central to everything we do.
Wait. If you're not enrolled to vote at the federal election, don't wait. Time's running out. If you wait, you'll miss out. Remember, an election will be called very soon. So don't wait. Enrol now or you'll miss out on your vote. To enrol or update your address details, grab a new enrolment form now.
Me again, your TV. I've just realised I have no idea where you go every day. And I've lived here so long. Anyway, have you had a chance to think any more about getting Foxtel? You know, the free installation and all that? And not that I'm craving more attention. I just want to make sure that it is quality time we spend together. So here's the number and some other stuff, like the logo, which is a good one. Spoken and authorised by the TV in the corner of your room.
For the first time on network television, the name you know, the story you do not. Stephen Curry as Graham Kennedy.
Don't turn your back on me.
The King, tonight, 8:30.
Channel 9.
Welcome back to the show. Entertainer Jeannie Little is probably best known for her famous catch cry, "Hello, darling." What's not as well known as Jeannie's talent as an author, now she's released a new book to help keep your home clean, all on a budget.
Oh, golly.
Hello? Hello?
Come in, darling.
Hello?
Oh. Hello.
Hi, Jeannie, how are you?
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, you're looking fantastic.
What are you doing?
Oh, darling, I'm cleaning like I usually am. I put my cleaning apron on and everything, so, you've caught me.
The older Jeannie Little becomes, the busier she gets. And that's saying a lot because she's had one very charmed life.
Barry always says to me, my husband, Jean, just, settle down. Just relax. Well, I don't know the meaning of those two words. I think I've got feather balls.
In the past, she's cleaned up at the Logies, but it's cleaning books she's now working on. And this is the latest one, a handy cleaning guide, including hundreds of tips.
We thought, you should have a quick cleaning guide that you can just put in the car, in your handbag, or anything like that. And so you just sort of go like that and it's all in there.
One example, removing a red wine spill with white wine.
My fabulous carpet.
That seems to have actually worked.
It's just absolutely amazing.
It's a new career for one of Australia's best-known television personalities. For 30 years, she's graced TV screens and stages, both here and abroad, with her energetic presence, which began on Channel 9's Mike Walsh show in the mid-70s.
That was revolting.
There are many faces of Jeannie Little: media personality, public speaker, charity worker, author, cleaner. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, it sounds fantastic. Actually, I have to say I do love cleaning. I really do. But I mean...
Above everything else?
Yeah, not really. No. No, I love, being an author.
The other end of show.
Where's the other end of show? Do you miss the days of, the Mike Walsh show or Beauty and the Beast on air sort of
Beauty
stuff?
and the Beast I miss madly because it was lovely. It was like getting together with the girls and we'd also say, oh, isn't so-and-so looking ghastly today, and blah, blah, blah. And it was sort of, like catty, how girls are.
Not one to sit back, Jeannie is already working on releasing more books, including one about wisdom. It's her guide to life, from the perspective of one many of us can only dream of having.
It's probably been one of the most exciting lives anyone could have. I didn't ever think that I would be on television or well known in Australia or anything.
Jeannie Little is
live. Darling, I can't get over this. Stop. I've only got my small eyelashes on. I'd hate not to do anything. I'd always have to do something.
Peter Stefanovic there with Jeannie Little. If anyone needs help with cleaning, it's Pete. And for more information on that cleaning guide, visit our 9MSN website. Still to come, Australia's great weight loss debate.
I eat everything. Basically anything that's in the cupboard, I'll eat it.
Weather in a flash, brought to you by Metropolitan Plumbing. Emergency plumbing, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Fine partly cloudy tomorrow, sunny on Wednesday, hot on Thursday, chance for shower Friday. In the meantime, Adelaide, Elizabeth tomorrow around 18 degrees. Mount Barker and Noongar tomorrow around about 16 degrees.
Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing. Metropolitan Plumbing.
You know that Metropolitan Plumbing can fix leaking taps, block drains and hot water heaters within the hour.
But there's no hot water!
Leaking hot water heaters can be replaced in all areas 7 days a week, and that includes Saturday and Sunday. And interest-free terms are available.
Metropolitan Plumbing.
Hit the road to Adelaide City, the home of Chrysler, Jeep and Dodge. Adelaide's biggest selection of new, used and factory demonstrators means the best deals for you. Hit our website or hit the road to Adelaide City, Chrysler, Jeep and Dodge. 142 Main North Road, Prospect.
Everything you see here for a great party or function comes from one place. Central Grocers. Buy in bulk and save. Catering packs of pies and pasties, lasagna, cheesecakes, fresh salads and a huge range of ready-prepared finger food. Bulk savings on disposable plates, cups and cutlery. Lasagna, bechamel or bolognese sauce 2 kilo tray, $7.95. Sara Lee chocolate cake tray pack, 32 serves, $19.90. Colonial Farm cocktail spring rolls, 54 pack, just $8.40. Central Grocers, cash and carry food wholesalers. Saints Road, Salisbury Plain.
At Mile End Office Furniture, we're stacked. Stacker chairs in 2 styles in a variety of colours. Plastic stacker chairs, $39 each. Padded stacker chairs in 2 colours, $49 each. Get stacked at Mile End Office Furniture, 107 Henley Beach Road, Mile End.
At House and Garden, we're celebrating the opening of a brand new Norwood store.
Leather dining chairs from $99. Save $70 on double bookcase, now $199. And Bodum coffee plungers from $19.95.
Great decorating ideas for your home at House and Garden.
They're back at Smith's. 2005 VZ Commodores from $17,990. Power windows, cruise control, airbags, air conditioning, low kilometre and new car warranty from $17,990. The best VZ Commodore value in SA is at Smith's, Port Adelaide and Blair Athol.
There are many health benefits in eating a variety of whole grains, including better all-round health. And that's why Sanitarium's Wheat Bix multigrain is made with the taste and goodness of 5 grains. It's a unique combination of whole grain oats, wheat, rye and sorghum plus rice. With a hint of honey and coconut, Wheat Bix multigrain is delicious. So to get the taste and goodness of 5 different grains in your diet every day, try Wheat Bix multigrain from Sanitarium. Brand power, helping you buy better.
Lock the doors.
I'm watching you, babysitter. I'm closer than you think.
Tuesday.
I'm thinking serial killer.
CSI Miami digs deep for answers, but with their own team gets it wrong.
We may have lost our shot at the killer.
Will they target the wrong guy?
We beat him to it.
New CSI Miami, Tuesday 8:30. Then Crime Investigation Australia.
After giving away over $650,000 last week, they said we had to get an accountant in.
So we did. Our new chap, Paul.
I don't think that's what they meant. We'll see you next.
It is Australia's great weight loss debate. Our expert panel give their advice, what works and what doesn't work. The fight to beat a national epidemic.
I'm sick of being overweight. I'm sick of waking up every morning and carrying the extra 70 kilos.
I've had chairs break from under me. How come you're so fat?
I am getting really distressed by this. The thought about leaving your child is terrible.
Ask yourself the question, do you want to die?
Ben McCormack with that special report tomorrow. Before we go tonight, congratulations to ACA cameraman Craig Cooper and sound recordist Kurt Howard, who won Best News and Current Affairs production work at the Queensland Media Awards on Saturday for their work exposing a driving instructor filmed drunk on the job. Well done, lads. Well, that is the program. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm Karl Stefanovic. See you tomorrow morning on The Today Show. Good night.